Today we'll be learning the two-player game based on the infamous political scandal, Watergate. In Watergate, one player assumes the role of Richard Nixon and his lackeys, and the other plays a newspaper editor trying to connect evidence back to the president. Setup. Choose who will play as the editor and who will play as Nixon. Place the game board between the two players so that the editor is viewing it face up. Give each player the cards for their role. Place your momentum card face up next to the research track. Shuffle your remaining cards and place them face down as your personal draw deck. Place the initiative card next to the zero space of the research track so that the arrows are pointing towards the editor. Place the end of round overview card next to it. Place the initiative token in white and one momentum token in red on the zero space of the research track. Place the 8 remaining momentum tokens next to the board. Lay out the potential informants next to the board as well. Finally, place the 36 evidence tokens in the bag and place it nearby. How to play. The game is played over a series of rounds consisting of 3 separate phases: the initial phase, the card phase, and the evaluation phase. In the initial phase, players carry out the following 2 steps. Step 1. Both players look at the initiative card and draw a number of cards to their hand equal to the side facing you, either 4 or 5. If your draw deck ever runs out, shuffle your discard pile to form a new draw deck. Step 2. The Nixon player draws 3 evidence tokens from the bag and looks at them in secret. Place them face down on the zero space of the research track. The Nixon player may look at face down evidence tokens at any time. The editor cannot. Phase 2 is the card phase. Starting with the player who has initiative, alternate turns playing 1 card from your hand until both players have no cards left. On your turn, you must play 1 card from your hand, choosing to use its value part or its action part. If you choose to use the value part of the card, move 1 token on the research track towards your side, equal to the number of spaces shown on the card. You can choose to move the initiative token, the momentum token, or either a face down or face up evidence token. When moving an evidence token, it must match the color on the card or be a 2-color evidence token with 1 matching color. Some cards are wild and can move any color evidence token. Evidence tokens begin face down. As Nixon, recall that you can look at face down evidence tokens as often as you want. To move a face down evidence token as Nixon, simply flip a matching colored token face up and move it the appropriate number of spaces. If you wish to move a face down evidence token as the editor, after deciding which card you are playing, ask the Nixon player if there is any face down evidence token with the color on your card. If the card you played is wild, just pick a color. If there is a face down token of that color, Nixon flips it face up and moves it the appropriate number of spaces towards you. If there are more than one, the Nixon player chooses one of them to flip and move. If there are no face-down evidence tokens matching the name color, the Nixon player says so, and you may then instead move the initiative token, the momentum token, or an already face-up evidence token with the matching color. After resolving your card's value part, discard it face up to your discard pile. If a token reaches the 5 space on your side of the research track, remove it from the board and gain that token immediately. It is gone from the research track and cannot be moved anymore. We will explain what to do with the token you gained in a little bit. So that's using the value part of your card. Instead, you could use the action part of your card. If you choose this option when playing a card, follow the printed instructions. There are 3 main types of actions: events, conspirators, and journalists. Events are one-time use cards that after resolving their effects are removed from the game. Simply follow the instructions on the card and then return it to the box. Next are the conspirators. Only Nixon has these types of cards. After using a conspirator, place it in Nixon's discard pile. Finally are journalists. Only the editor has this type of card. After using a journalist, place it in the editor's discard pile. Some cards state requirements which must be met before you can use the action part of a card. For example, securing the support of an informant. And some cards are reaction cards, meaning they are played in response to an opponent playing a specific card first. Note, when following a card's instructions, you have to fully carry out all instructions that are possible. Any that cannot be carried out can be ignored. Most cards are self-explanatory, but a glossary can be found on pages 11 through 16 in your rulebook, along with some historical context if you're interested in the history of the Watergate scandal. Finally, after both players have played all of their cards, move to the evaluation phase. Follow these 5 steps in order. Step 1. Return any evidence tokens, whether face up or down, still on the zero space, back to the bag. Step 2. Award the initiative token. Give the initiative token to the player it's closer to. If it's on the zero space, give it to the player who did not have it this round. It's possible the initiative token can be gained during the card phase by reaching the 5 space on a player's side of the research track as described earlier. If you gain the initiative token during the card phase, place it on the initiative card immediately and flip it towards you. Then of course, you will skip awarding the initiative token during this round's evaluation phase. Step 3. Award this round's momentum token. Same as with the initiative token, award it to the player whose side of the research track it's on. As the editor, when placing a momentum token, immediately carry out the printed instructions. If it's still in the 0 space, it is gained by neither player and returned to the supply. As with the initiative token, if the momentum token reaches the 5 space during the card phase, you would remove it from the research track and place it on the lowest empty number of your momentum card immediately. If the token was gained in this way, skip awarding the momentum token during the evaluation phase. Step 4. Place new tokens onto the 0 space. You'll take the white initiative token from the card and place it back on the 0 space, then grab a red momentum token from the supply and place it on the 0 space. If there are no momentum tokens left to place from the supply, Nixon wins the game immediately, although this is rare. Step 5. Award this round's evidence tokens. As with the other tokens, players gain any evidence tokens that are on their side of the research track. The player with the initiative begins and pins all evidence tokens they earned to the evidence board. We will cover how to do this in a moment. Reminder, the initiative may have changed during Step 2, awarding the initiative token. As with the other tokens, if you ever get an evidence token to the 5 space on the research track during the card phase, you gain it right away and can immediately pin it to the evidence board. Next, let's cover the rules for pinning evidence. Whenever you pin evidence, whether during the card phase or the evaluation phase, you place your evidence token on a space matching the same color as that token, or one of its 2 colors if it's a dual-colored token. If you are the editor, place your evidence face up. This builds connections towards Nixon in the middle. If you are Nixon, place your evidence face down. This blocks connections. Note, if the evidence token has this symbol, also move the momentum token on the research track 1 space towards your side. If no player has met their win condition, start a new round, beginning back with the initial phase again. Win conditions. The Nixon player wins immediately as soon as they place the 5th momentum token onto their card. As mentioned before, they may also win sometimes, but rarely, if there are no momentum tokens left to place on the 0 space during the evaluation phase. The editor wins immediately if they are able to connect 2 informants to Nixon on the evidence board. They are connected if you're able to draw a continuous line through face-up evidence tokens from their spot to Nixon in the center. Any empty spaces or face-down evidence tokens block connections. To recruit an informant, you would need to use the corresponding event card. Place the matching token face-up on their space. The editor can now link this informant to Nixon. As Nixon, place them face down to garner their support. Now, the editor cannot link this informant to Nixon. When playing your first game, I suggest opening to page 4 in your rulebook, which has a short reminder of the round structure. So that's how you play Watergate. If you're looking for other great 2-player games, check out our How to Play videos for Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small, or 7 Wonders Duel. I hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you next time.